The President of the Council of Ministers of the Italian Republic, commonly referred to in Italy as Presidente del Consiglio or informally as Premier, and known in English as the Prime Minister of Italy, is the head of government of the Italian Republic. The office of Prime Minister is established by Articles 92 through 96 of the Constitution of Italy. The Prime Minister is appointed by the President of the Republic after each general election and must have the confidence of the Italian Parliament to stay in office. Prior to the establishment of the Italian Republic, the position was called President of the Council of Ministers of the Kingdom of Italy. From 1925 to 1943, during the fascist regime, the position was transformed into the dictatorial position of head of the government. Prime Minister, Secretary of State held by Benito Mussolini, Duce of Fascism, who officially governed on the behalf of the King of Italy. King Victor Emmanuel III removed Mussolini from office in 1943 and the position was restored with Marshal Pietro Badoglio becoming Prime Minister in 1943. Alcide de Gasperi became the first Prime Minister of the Italian Republic in 1946. The Prime Minister is the President of the Council of Ministers, which holds executive power and the position is similar to those in most other parliamentary systems. The formal Italian order of precedence lists the office as being, ceremonially, the fourth highest Italian state office. As the President of the Council of Ministers, the modern Prime Minister leads the cabinet. In addition, the Prime Minister often leads a major political party and is required by the Constitution to have the confidence of the majority of the voting members of the Parliament. In addition to powers inherent in being a member of the cabinet, the Prime Minister holds specific powers, most notably being able to nominate a list of cabinet ministers to be appointed by the President of the Republic and the countersigning of all legislative instruments having the force of law that are signed by the President of the Republic. Article 95 of the Italian Constitution provides that the Prime Minister directs and coordinates the activity of the ministers. This power has been used to a quite variable extent in the history of the Italian state, as it is strongly influenced by the political strength of individual ministers and thus by the parties they represent. The Prime Minister's activity has often consisted of mediating between the various parties in the majority coalition, rather than directing the activity of the Council of Ministers. The Prime Minister's supervisory power is further limited by the lack of any formal authority to fire ministers, although a cabinet reshuffle or sometimes even an individual vote of no confidence on the part of Parliament may in practice provide a surrogate measure. The office was first established in 1848 in Italy's predecessor state, the Kingdom of Sardinia, although it was not mentioned in its constitution. The Albertine Statute, from 1848 to 1861, 10 prime ministers governed the kingdom, most of them being right-wing politicians. After the unification of Italy and the establishment of the kingdom, the procedure did not change. In fact, the candidate for office was appointed by the king and presided over a very unstable political system. The first prime minister was Camillo Benso di Cavour, who was appointed on the 23rd of March 1861. But he died on the 6th of June the same year. From 1861 to 1911, historical right and historical left prime ministers alternatively governed the country. One of the most famous and influential prime ministers of this period was Francesco Crispi, a left-wing patriot and statesman, the first head of the government from southern Italy. He led the country for 6 years from 1887 until 1891 and again from 1893 until 1896. Crispi was internationally famous and often mentioned along with world statesmen such as Otto von Bismarck, William Ewart Gladstone and Salisbury. Originally an enlightened Italian patriot and Democrat liberal, Crispi went on to become a bellicose authoritarian prime minister, ally and admirer of Bismarck. His career ended amid controversy and failure due to becoming involved in a major banking scandal, and subsequently fell from power in 1896 after a devastating colonial defeat in Ethiopia. He is often seen as a precursor of the fascist dictator Benito Mussolini. In 1892, Giovanni Giolitti, a leftist lawyer and politician, was appointed prime minister by King Umberto I, but after less than a year he was forced to resign and Crispi returned to power. In 1903, he was appointed again head of the government after a period of instability. Giolitti was prime minister 5 times between 1892 and 1921 and the second longest serving prime minister in Italian history. Giolitti was a master in the political art of trasformismo, the method of making a flexible, fluid centrist coalition in parliament which sought to isolate the extremes of th.